decarbonization zones related to the Commission's proceeding to establish policies, processes, and rules to ensure safe and system-reliable gas systems in California and perform long-term gas planning. Today's conference is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to Judge Van Dyken. You may go ahead.
Great. Thank you very much, operators. Can the court reporters please confirm that they are ready to begin?
Ready, Your Honor. It's Andrea.
All right. Thank you very much. And before we go on the record, I just want to be sure that everyone aware that I do speak with a stutter. So if I encounter a verbal block, just wait a second and I will get past it. With that, let's now go on the record, please. The Commission will come to order. Today is Thursday, August 7th, 2025, and this is the remote public participation hearing for the Commission and gas utilities to receive public comments on potential decarbonization zones related to the Commission's larger order instituting rulemaking to establish policies, processes, and rules to ensure safe and reliable gas systems in California and perform long-term gas system planning. The proceeding number is R24-09-012. My name is David Van Dyken, and I am one of two administrative law judges that are assigned to this proceeding. Before we go further, as I understand, one of the links to the video portion of this public participation hearing is not working. If you do not have access to the video portion, you can go to this website, adminmonitor.com. It's adminmonitor.com. You can insert that on the top of your search bar, or it'll also work if you just Google it. Today we're joined by Commissioner Karen Douglas, who is the assigned commissioner for this proceeding. You will hear from Commissioner Douglas later in this public participation hearing. We are also joined by another commissioner, Darcy Houck, who will also be making some remarks. The judges and the commissioners will be paying careful attention to the comments provided here today. Additionally, a court reporter will transcribe everything that is said here today into a written transcript, which will be filed on the docket for this proceeding, which is public. For those who intend to speak, please call the number on your screen and then press star and 1 on your phone to be placed in line. After pressing star 1, you will be prompted for your name and location. If you are an elected official, we'd appreciate it if you could provide that information when you begin to speak. If you are a party to the proceeding, this public participation hearing is not the venue for you to provide input. The point for this public participation hearing is to hear from members of the public who are not parties to this proceeding. You may decide to speak at any time before we end the forum to speak, simply by pressing star 1. The audio and visual feed for this hearing is also being recorded and accessible on the CPUC website. If you do not wish to be recorded, please do not provide any public comments. Also, I should note this is the second of two public participation hearings that we have had on this matter today. The first one was at 2 o'clock, presided by Judge Perchia. If you made comments during that PPH, I would prefer you not to call into this one. That way we can be sure that more people have time to make their comments. All right. With that being said, I'd like to give an overview of the CPUC and the roles of the administrative law judges. I'll talk about what we do and then give a brief overview of this rulemaking. The CPUC is the state agency that regulates privately owned utilities that provide essential services such as electricity, gas, and water. There are 5 commissioners at this CPUC, including Commissioners Douglas and Houck. My responsibility is to manage the day-to-day activities of this case and to help Commissioner Douglas evaluate all of the documentation and information received in this proceeding, including your input. I'm assisted by staff from the Gas Policy and Reliability Branch of the Commission's Energy Division and from the Commission's Legal Division. Commissioner Houck will issue a proposed decision for the commissioners to consider. The 5 commissioners are ultimately the ones who will decide and vote on whether to approve any proposed decisions. Each piece of information on which the decision is based is listed and available for you to review on a commission will also be listed and published on the docket card because our court reporters are transcribing today's hearing, taking down everything that is said. Today's transcript will also be available on the docket card. I thank you for spending your time with us here this evening. The purpose of today's hearing is to hear directly from the gas utility customers and members of the public about designation of priority neighborhood decarbonization zones. Decarbonization zones are geographic areas where the CPUC may authorize the transition of some customers' natural gas service to cost-effective zero-emissions alternatives, provided that 67% of property owners with natural gas service agree. Zero-emission alternatives are ways of providing gas customers with suitable substitute energy services that do not require new investment in gas distribution lines, such as, but not limited to, electrification. The CPUC's work on this issue is being conducted as part of the Commission's order instituting rulemaking to advance long-term gas transition planning work and act on opportunities to establish policies, processes, and rules to ensure safe and reliable gas systems in California and perform long-term gas system planning. The CPUC is also working under the legislative direction described in Senate Bill 1221, which authorizes the CPUC to approve up to 30 pilot projects to facilitate zero-emission alternatives as a full replacement for natural gas service. Projects must demonstrate that the total cost of the alternative is less than the cost of replacing the gas pipeline, and non-ratepayer funds must be used when available. The CPUC will only approve pilot projects in designated priority neighborhood decarbonization zones, and then, as stated previously, only when they receive consent from at least 67% of property owners with natural gas service within the project boundary area. Projects must also prioritize benefits for disadvantaged and low-income communities, tenant protections, and high-quality jobs for workers. If a project is approved, the CPUC will relieve the gas utility of its obligation to provide natural gas service to the project area to be replaced with a substitute energy service. All right, so I just provided a very high-level overview. If you'd like more details about this rulemaking, a fact sheet is available at this website, www.cpuc.ca.gov/pph. Now we will hear from Commissioner Douglas. I'm sorry, I think that you were on mute, Commissioner.
Sorry, I was double muted. Oh, here we go again. Good evening, everybody. I'm Karen Douglas, the assigned commissioner on this proceeding, and I want to start by thanking all of the members of the public who are taking their time to participate in today's public forum. These public forums are an important way for the Commission to hear directly from members of the public, local governments, and representatives of organizations who work in this space. And your feedback at these public forums gives us valuable insights about your concerns and your priorities, and those insights can help inform our decision making. Today, I'm very interested in hearing about the topic of of the designation of priority neighborhood decarbonization zones as discussed by Judge Van Dyken. Before I hand this back to Judge Van Dyken, I just want to thank our team who's been working hard behind the scenes to put this public participation hearing together, including the Public Advisor's Office, the IT staff and court reporters, and of course, our Energy Division staff and attorneys and judges Perchia and Van Dyken. And with that, back to you, Judge Van Dyken.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Douglas. Now we will hear some remarks from Commissioner Houck, who is having bandwidth issues today, so she is not on camera. Commissioner Houck?
Thank you, Judge Van Dyken. Yes, I've been having some technical difficulties. I am here. I will be listening. I wanted to join Commissioner Douglas in thanking the public for taking your valuable time to provide feedback to us on this important proceeding. I am particularly interested in this proceeding as I'm the lead commissioner in our building decarbonization proceeding, which Commissioner Douglas and I are Bagley-Keene partners on, and there are some overlapping issues with SB 1221. So I wanted to make sure that I was here to hear from the public on your comments and concerns and questions. And so with that, I will just thank you again for being here and turn it back over to Judge Van Dyken, and also thank our staff, our IT folks, and Commissioner Douglas for her leadership on the proceedings.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Houck. Okay, now it was time to turn to the public. So if you wish to speak, please call 1-800-857-1917 and enter passcode 6032788#. Then, once you're in, you must press *1 on your phone. As a reminder, this is not the appropriate venue for parties in this proceeding to provide input. This venue is for gas utility customers and members of the public who are not parties to this proceeding to talk to us directly about the designation of priority neighborhood decarbonization zones. Please provide your name when prompted. If you are a public official, state your title and position in addition to your name. Please refer to the slide on the screen. As a reminder, the court reporters are transcribing everything that is said in our hearing today. The reporters have a difficult job. So when it is your time to speak, we ask that you speak slowly and clearly so that the court reporter can capture everything that you say. To ensure that we have an accurate record, it may be necessary for the court reporter to ask a speaker to repeat themselves if something is not comprehensible. We ask that you state and spell your name and, if you like, the city that you are calling from. Again, you may decide at any time before we end the form to speak simply by pressing *1. Each speaker will have a time limit of 2 minutes. A chime will be sounded when the 2 minutes is up. We will be able to hear you most clearly if you speak directly into your phone or headset. It is best not to use a speakerphone. It is also important to mention that this is not the time and place to ask questions about your individual bills or service. If you have questions about your individual bills or service, I encourage you to contact your utility company, or you may contact the CPUC's Customer Affairs Branch at 1-800-649-7570 for billing issues. Also, you do not want to disclose your individual phone number or residence address, since this proceeding is open to the public and is being recorded. If you do not wish to speak publicly today, but would still like to comment on this proceeding, you may submit written comments on the docket card. The link to the docket card was also in the notice that you received about this hearing, but it did include an extra space that was not supposed to be there. So here's the correct link. It's apps.cpuc.gov/R2409012 without any spaces. It is also visible on the slide that is up. I will repeat this web address at the conclusion of our hearing here today. It is also important to note that we will not be answering questions about the proceeding at today's hearing. We are here to listen to your comments. Okay, with that, I will ask the operator if there are any public officials on the line.
There are currently no public officials.
Okay, with that, can we go to the first person in the queue, please?
Absolutely. The first speaker is Debbie Robinson. Your line is open. Please spell your first name. I'm sorry, your full name.
I'm Betty Robinson, BettyRobin. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
All righty. So, good evening. I live in a decarbonization zone in Orange County. I urge you not to approve this pilot program. I take it that the substitute energy source to replace gas will be electricity. My electricity bill has escalated while my usage remained the same. By switching from gas, I'll be paying even more, not to mention the cost of new appliances, permits, installation fees. Many areas, as where my sister lives in Hemet, also in a zone, already has been subjected to quite a few power outages. She suffered safety issues, having to use a flashlight at night, and the loss of refrigerated and frozen food. The only saving aspect was that she was able to have some warm food and warm showers because of her gas stove and water heater. An increased need for electricity can readily be seen with the construction of housing and businesses in Orange County, especially around Hemet. How about the electricity requirements for EVs and future AI? How will restaurants manage without gas appliances? I'm hoping that a way will be found to replace aging pipelines. Please say no to the pilot program. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your comments. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Jessica Anderson. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment.
Hi, my name is spelled Jessica-Anderson. I live in San Diego, and I support the neighborhood decarbonization pilots as they present an opportunity to make our communities more sustainable and healthier. However, SDG&E must hold information sessions about these pilots so our communities can make decisions about their participation in the pilots. I disagree with SDG&E's decision to use REACH codes to determine local government interest, which will prevent many communities from eligibility who would be interested in the pilots. I also ask that the CPUC provide guidance on how savings from the avoided gas pipeline expenses will be allocated to support home electrification processes and projects. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. Can we have the next speaker, please?
The next speaker is Jeanette Stone. Please spell your your full name, and then continue with your comment.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Stone, and it is Jeanette, and last name is Stone, Sohn. Thank you for letting me speak today. I'm opposed to the decarbonization pilot program by neighborhood, and there's several reasons. I think that, first off, people have invested in their existing appliances, including myself and my husband. We had an unfortunate situation during the pandemic. Our furnace went out. Our stove needed to be replaced in 2019. During the pandemic, we had the furnace and the hot water heater, and we had to replace them. They were completely gone. And due to supply chain issues, we couldn't get the heat pump one that we wanted. We got what we could get. Now, we went from a 10 SEER to a 16 SEER, which cost us $15,000 for the furnace. The hot water heater was also something that was unexpected. So we out-of-pocketed a lot of money. And now to find out that it's possible that in the near future we won't be able to use those things, it's a huge financial blow. We outlawed that money because we thought, okay, we're going to get the best one we can get, the most energy-efficient things we can get. Due to the supply chain issues, we did the best we could. And we thought, okay, this is an investment in our future. These things are going to last. And now to have to turn around and get new appliances is insane. It's a huge blow to us. We also agree on trying to help with the decarbonization in a way that several years ago we plunked down for a little bit of solar, what we could afford. Yes, I'm still paying for it. And yes, I still out of pocket a huge amount of electricity at the end of the year because we couldn't afford enough to cover our usage. We're a middle-class family. We're not poor enough to get any kind of subsidies, but we're not rich enough where this doesn't really hurt us, and it really would. I have to be honest. If this happens to our community, I will not be able to replace my stove. I'll probably be using a hot plate. I will not be able to replace my furnace. I'll probably be getting plug-in space heaters, which are fire-prone, not necessarily energy efficient. And I can't be the only one. I think a better use or a better program would be go ahead and give people energy efficient appliances, brand new ones. Anybody who's willing, who's at a point where they need to replace their things, give them away, give them for free, not a tax credit of $25 or a percentage of whatever their adjusted whatever it is. It's not enough money to replace these things. Plus the amount of electricity that people still have to pay for, to have that go up, it's enormous. The electricity bills have gone up for, I would say, probably 45% or more in the last few years, and they keep asking for more increases. Imagine if the gas would go, all of that we're using for that would now be allocated out of that. Oh, I forgot, we'd have to replace our dryer. I mean, it's a huge amount of money to expect people to pay out of pocket, and it's really going to hurt communities. Do new builds. Anybody who builds a house brand new, make them start fresh. Make it so that any new appliance you buy has to be these energy efficient, electric only appliances, and make them available. Make the supply chain so that there's enough of them. Make them so there's subsidies so everybody gets a discount. I think that would be a better way rather than unilaterally just because 67% of the people want to do it or more, because ultimately we all want clean air. Of course we do. But I think we just do the best we can. So I appreciate your time, and I really hope you consider that. It's just not a good program the way it's.
All right. Thank you very much for your comments. Can we have the next speaker, please?
Next speaker is Pamela Brody. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment.
Pamela Brody, Pamela, B like boy, Rody. I'm in Costa Mesa. Hi to everybody. So I want to address the board and everybody else that's listening to just think about a few things. I'm totally opposed to this because it is authoritarian. It is social engineering. I mean, we're supposed to live in a country where we have a choice. And all of the choices are being taken away. They try and sugarcoat it. Like I read the insert in my bill, that's saying, we're not taking your gas appliances away. Yeah, you're saying that, but you're saying like in 2030, you won't be able to buy them. So that's the same thing. If you're not able to buy them, now you're forcing me to change all my wiring. Now, here's the thing to think about, folks. I live in a condo. I looked up and said, if your panel, your fuse box is inside your house, that's your problem. You're going to pay for that to upgrade for all of these appliances. Our condos, our fuse boxes are on the outside by our garage, which means that's the HOA's responsibility. Could you imagine 211 units times, $20,000 a piece to upgrade them? What kind of special assessment are we going to get? Or what kind of dues increase are we going to get? I mean, our homeowners association just barely passed the budget and they're still in the hole. This would devastate them. This would put our association out of business. This would probably put a lot of people out of their homes. On the federal level, they've already come down in Washington and they said government must stay out of the people's homes. And on the federal level, Forcing people into gas is not allowed on the federal level. So California, being the nanny state that we are waving our finger at, at the federal government's nose because we're a nanny state. We're, every time we turn around, there's another new law in California we have to deal with. Now, I looked up to see if I got an electric heat pump, you have to put that outside. I'm a middle unit. I have no outside. I cannot put anything on my roof because that voids the roof warranty. Landlocked, we are locked into this and we can't change. We can't, unless this is some sort of little land grab or get everybody out of their house, we'll buy the property cheap and, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, which, you're kind of wondering if that's what they're doing with the people with the fires because they won't let them rebuild. And will we get a supplemental tax bill? If we have to upgrade our homes for all the new wiring, does that now generate a supplemental tax bill on top of everything? So those are just kind of... Oh, did it right on the button there. Look at that. All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for your comment. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Jane. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment. Your line is open.
I'm Jane, Jane, Taguchi, Taguchi. I live in Los Angeles. And I haven't really studied all the information that was provided. But what I want to say is that the California government in this program to consider phasing out natural gas makes absolutely no sense to me. I've lived here in LA in a home for almost 30 years, and what we have done is got, like someone else mentioned, energy efficient appliances, light bulbs. We repair anything we have, like the dryer, the air conditioning units. We fix them. We get parts and we fix those things. So what we discovered is that our electricity bill is low enough that makes absolute no sense to do, for example, solar panels or that sort of thing. We have gotten our utility bills low. We've even done water, which was not discussion of gas, but it could be, I guess, in terms of water heaters. But we even had drip, gardening things. So I feel that this over regulation of California to go to like net zero on this thing makes absolutely no sense. I am just a common sense person. I'm not an intellectual. I feel that give everyone a choice. Like we have choices in our home. We have gas, a stove, and during outages we can use a match and light the stove and still use the stove. We have batteries for flashlights, and we can light the place while we're waiting, for the electricity to come back on. So I say this is not good, especially for people in lower and middle class, areas, because we would have to spend more if they decided they wanted to change. Look, give us choices. I have seen in my driving these propeller things to generate electricity. We have seen fields and fields of solar panels, which I'm sure are very expensive, which I don't think generate very much electricity. And so I just feel you've got to give people a choice and don't over-regulate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Andrea Grossman. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment.
Hi, my name is Andrea Leon Grossman. It's Andrea. Last name is Leon, Leon -Grossman, Grossmann. Today I'm speaking in strong support of this decarbonization program, as long as it doesn't include false solutions like hydrogen or biofuels. I am opposed to investing money in new or existing gas systems in California. Investing in combustible fuels is climate arson. Gas is neither clean or natural. I want to emphasize how SoCal gas storage facilities, especially Aliso Canyon and Playa del Rey, are ticking time bombs. After the catastrophic blowout at Aliso, even a SoCal gas manager admitted to a major seismic event could lead to catastrophic loss of life. California should not be logging in decades of continued gas use. We should be investing in safer, cleaner alternatives, especially all-electric, non-combustible systems that protect public health, reduce emissions, and build real resilience. Something that happened in my own family in Mexico was after the earthquake in 2017. The building that my grandmother was living in, six-story building, it partially collapsed, and my cousin who was parking his car after taking my grandmother on an errand was waiting to be rescued. They had to cease rescue operations for 16 hours because there were gas leaks everywhere. By the time they got to him, he had died. We are going to have a big earthquake here in California. No one deserves to die the way that my cousin did. We need to stop using combustible fuels and fuels that are jeopardizing our safety and our health. I am urging the CPUC to protect Californians, not the profits of fossil fuel corporations. True safety and reliability will only come from phasing out gas, not making it more comfortable to keep using. This profit-making machine for corporations or our safety is there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Joshua Edra. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment.
Hi, my name is Joshua Edra. Joshua, Joshua, Edra, Edra. Here's my comment. We, the private people of California, do not consent to the implementation of this project to take away our affordable, convenient, safe, green, and clean natural gas. We, the California people, and our use of natural gas and hydrocarbons are not the cause of theoretical climate change. It is a powerful playing God with the weather and the uses of unsafe and harmful technology, harming our planet and health. Not cars, not gas appliances, not private travel. Eliminating hydrocarbons would crash our economy and world economies. This project will make private home energy unaffordable for everyone. This is not about saving the planet, but handing power over Californians' lives to wealthy private stakeholders, aka rich individuals, hiding behind phony altruistic rhetoric. We, the people of California, do not consent. And I end my comment.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Dominic. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment.
Hello, Dominic Bendinelli, D-O-M-I-N-I-C. Bendinelli is B-E-N-D-I-N-E-L-L-I. Thank you, Your Honor, and Commission members for here this evening for your time. I'll just keep it short and sweet. So I approve of the SB 121 program. I would just like to make a little plea for my own community. I live in Orange County, where communities suffer from some of the highest percentiles of pollution in the state. So looking at the CalEnviroScreen data of both disadvantaged communities plus communities with gas lines that are ready to be replaced, I would just like to suggest 2 census tracts for you for consideration of implementation of the project. And those are as follows: 605-911-0500, and the second is 605-911-0302. Again, I would like to ask you to please consider those census tracts for implementation of one or more of those pilot projects. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Rashmikant Patel. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Rashmikant, R-A-S-H-M-I-K-A-N-T, last name Patel, P-A-T-E-L. I think this is definitely, for those that don't believe in climate change, God will drag their feet into believing them. But here's my comment on my concern with this. In California, do we have enough capacity to deliver this kind of change? Not just from, as everybody has said, they have their appliances, they have all this stuff that they have to completely change. But the second part is our grid system. Do we have that capacity to deliver this kind of change? Given that we have PG&E and other electric companies have botched up. They've spent a lot of money and they've not come up to par to even support us at this level. And all they do is come and ask for money from us. So if this is going to be a plausible approach, then there has to be a way to do a complete change. Support the people to change into this. Yes, climate change is real. Those people that don't believe in it, God will really drag their feet into believing in them. So ultimately, it's coming. 10 years ago, they didn't believe it. Now they consider it as, oh my God, it's just God changing the climate. Okay, now next 10 years they'll believe something else. But the amount of money we're spending, the FEMA money, all that tax dollar is going in those money because of the change in weather patterns and so on. I think we need to really come to Jesus on this. So here's the thing. I don't believe in California having a capacity to make this change. The grid level, the companies that are working to do this, they are not up to par. So if this change needs to come, this kind of consideration needs to happen first. So thank you very much, and I conclude my comment.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Jacqueline Annette Miller. Please spell your first name and then continue with your comment.
Jacqueline, Jacquelyn, and I want to give all praises to the Most High for being heard. I want to say I am opposed to this. Solar panels don't work because Santa Ana Water and Power, who oversees the alleged weather modification program, allows the sky to be covered. And you are in Commerce, and you need the consent of everyone, not a percentage, in order to proceed. And any other decision is color of authority. The alleged power outages and cyber attacks are endangering lives of people who depend on electricity to live. And it's not broken, so why we have to fix it? We exhale carbon dioxide. The plants thrive off of it. They give off oxygen for us. So there's not a problem. The Most High created this world, and He doesn't make mistakes. And we all have rights, unalienable rights, which cannot be taken away from us. So at that point, what I'm trying to say now is this shouldn't even be going on. It's no problem. It hasn't been a problem in all these years. It's worked properly. It's natural gas. It's not something that's created or made up. So why is it going to be changed for something that's a fakery or trickery or whatever it is? I don't know what you want to call it. But it's not broken, so we don't need to fix it. It really isn't. If the pipes are not working properly, repair the pipes like you do when the water has problems and the pipes bust with that. Simple and easy. All these lives, it's like you don't want us to breathe, then we die. That's like a hidden agenda. So people need to think about it because the Most High is watching everything we all do. Thank you for the time to speak.
Thank you very much for your comments. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Lucinda. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment.
Lucinda Witt, Lucinda, Witt, Witt. This program is really a waste of time. With all the gas emissions in the air from fuel, fossil, agriculture, waste management, landfills, water waste, in industrial and deforestation, and the changes in the land and how it's used, how are you going to ever keep up with these constant changes? And these gases, sometimes depending on it, they'll last a long time in the atmosphere and have a significant impact. To me, this program is like chasing your shadow, always running after it, but never catching it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your comments. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Lisa Berber. Please spell your first name and then, your full name, and then continue with your comment.
Lisa Berber, Lisaberber. I live in Lompoc, California. The weather here is very mild, so luckily I don't have air conditioning or run my furnace, but a couple months out of the year. However, I think the bottom line for this program is going to cost everybody more money. Some people have enough money, some people don't. I'm a single person. I live in a single-family home. My gas bill is about $15 a month. My electric bill is about $30 a month. My clothes dryer, my furnace, my water heater are all gas. If those were to be changed to electric, I can see my electric bill probably tripling. So this won't just affect homeowners, this will affect renters. Their rents will be raised to cover these costs. And this is just, it's coming down to money. We're in a recession, we're in an inflationary period now. People are having difficult enough time paying their regular bills. This will definitely raise the cost of my household utility bill. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Alyssa Stanford. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comments.
Good evening. ALYSASTANFORD. I just want to echo some of the sentiments that other folks have said around cost, infrastructure, choice. My utility bill is the highest expense I have outside of my mortgage. It is the thing I have to plan for the most every month. If I have a $500 bill, $430 of it is electricity, $70 of it is gas. Gas is the most affordable thing for my household. We have several gas appliances. According to an NPR article from a few years ago, only 35% of households have gas appliances, and gas appliances in residential households only account for 2% of emissions. I think we're focusing on the wrong things, and it would be incredibly burdensome on not only our bills, but switching over our appliances and upgrading our electrical system in our home. Also, with all of the rolling blackouts that we have, gas appliances can really save us in the time that we don't have electricity. I have an electric vehicle. I do the best I can to contribute to, saving the environment and not making climate change worse, but the lines that I have to wait in to charge my electric vehicle, we're already struggling with the changes that we have all made, switching over to electric things that are part of our daily living. So I would like to see what efforts would be made to increase our electric capacity. When I have thought I've smelled gas and I've called my utility company, they have been to my house within a few minutes. It seems like safety protocols are already in place, and they're already checking to make sure, at least on a residential level, that we don't have leaks and we're not making the problem worse. Maybe we just need to look at what the lines underground and what things outside of our households need to continue to be safe. But I think, we're doing a pretty good job right now. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much for your comment. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Adam Rush from Azusa. Please spell your full name and then continue with your comment.
Yes, my name is Adam Ruff, ADAMRUFF, and I'm from Azusa. I've been a resident of Azusa and the surrounding area for 59 years. And the first and most significant issue I have with this plan is that the CPUC itself is an unelected body and not accountable to the people. Yes, you're having a public hearing, but are there any real requirements for you to listen to what we have to say? So, first of all, I believe this meeting is just a formality. I believe you've already made the decision to go ahead with this program. And, I'd like to point out that many of the people calling in stand to make money from the funding allocations that you're going to distribute to do this project. So they are definitely not neutral parties. And, to the people that think climate change science is real, it is not. First of all, we are carbon-based life forms, and CO2 is plant food. It is essential for life on Earth for CO2 to exist in the atmosphere. It is a trace gas. It is not a greenhouse gas. It is not pollution. Okay, CO2 is essential for our lives. So this whole decarbonization agenda is anti-human, and it is based on scientific fraud, because global warming is a scientific fraud, and those that are listening to their television a little too much don't realize that yet, but many scientists, 30,000 scientists have signed a petition basically saying exactly that it is based on pseudoscientific fraud, the whole climate change agenda. So I just want to say I'm going to hold this board accountable for the fraud that you're attempting to perpetrate here. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your comments. Next speaker, please.
There are no further speakers at this time.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so with that, since there's no one else on the line to speak, we'll go ahead and close the public comment period. Let's see here. And I do want to thank everyone who has commented today. And with that, I will ask if Commissioner Douglas has any closing remarks.
Yes, sorry about the delay there. I just wanted to express my appreciation to all of our speakers tonight. I know it takes a lot of time, and I know everybody has other things they might be doing with their time other than calling into a public proceeding like this one. So thank you for spending your evening and sharing your views here with us today.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Douglas. Commissioner Houck, do you have any closing remarks?
I just want to join Commissioner Douglas in thanking everyone for taking the time to provide feedback and comments, and thank you and all of our staff for making the virtual hearing possible.
Okay, thank you much. Once again, I want to thank all of the speakers who signed up to speak today. Again, if you would like to provide any additional comments, you may submit written comment on the docket for this proceeding, which can be found at the following website: apps.cpuc.ca.gov/letter C /R2409012. For assistance with providing additional comments, you may contact the Commission's Public Advisor's Office at public.advisor@cpuc.ca.gov. On behalf of ourselves and all of the commissioners, we want to thank everyone again for their participation here today. We appreciate that you took time out of your day to participate in this proceeding with us. We also want to thank everyone who helped in this hearing. We could not have accomplished this without the help of our court reporters and all of the staff at the Public Advisor's Office, as well